Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafiya wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutakabbala. Ameen ya rabbal alameen. So here we are in our session number 139. And in our last session, we covered topic of lam, which usually comes as a particle of emphasis. So how many different types of lam have we covered in our last session? Who remembers? Real quick. Did we learn 3? And it was a review for most of you. So alhamdulillah, you have covered 3 types of lam. If you see lam with mubtada of the sentence, if you see lam that is attached to mubtada of jumla ismiya, what will be the name? Lamul ibtida. Very well done. Lamul ibtida will be the name for that lam. If you see lam that comes with inna, harf inna, lam with harf inna is going to be lamul muzahlaka. Lam that is going to come with harf inna, can it only attach to ismu inna, or does it only attach to khabru inna, or it can attach to both? Very well done. Remember, it can attach to ismu inna, it can attach to khabru inna as well. Lam al-muzahlaqa, I have, just for some more information, remember, this lam that comes with inna will not attach to khabar if the khabar of inna is a past tense. Okay? You will not see the inna with lam. If the khabar of inna is a past tense, it's also not going to attach to the khabar if the khabar of inna is a negative sentence. Is it clear to all of you? So in which cases you can never see lamul muzahlaqa. You will not see lamul muzahlaqa attaching itself to a past tense. You will not see lamul muzahlaqa attaching itself to khabar of inna, which is a negative sentence. I hope I made myself very clear. For example, if you see inna lazina kafaru sawa'un alayhim a'anzartahum am lam tunzirhum la yu'minun. Here you see inna, which is here ismu inna is allazina kafaru, qabru inna is la yu'minuna. You will not see lamul muzahlaqa attaching itself to a negative khabar. Okay, and you don't see any lamul muzahlaqa here, right? Similarly, here, if I can show you, I had another example pulled out for you. Here again, inna Allah, ismu inna is lafzul jalala, and then la yastahyi. What kind of khabar we have? Jumla ismiya can have 3 types of akhbar. Its jumla fi'liya is the khabar of inna, and this jumla fi'liya is fi'l mudare. This jumla fi'liya is a negative sentence because of la. So can it ever have lamul muzahlaqa? It won't. It won't. Okay, remember that. Again, I had another one for you. I think it's going to be here. Huh. Ya qawmi, innakum zalamtum anfusakum. If I asked you why there is no lamul muzahlaqa here, zalamtum, though Bani Israel very heavily did the zulm. It was not that, they did the wrongdoings just once or a couple of times. They were perpetual sinners. They eventually became the perpetual sinners. So you are not seeing lam al-muzahlaqa. Your answer should be, because it is a past tense, it's not expected to be seen with the past tense. I hope I made myself clear and everyone is with me. Those 2 points are important points that you must know about lamul muzahlaqa, because this is a lam that you're going to see very often in Quran. Remember, don't call any lamul muzahlaqa. If you are going to see it anything, just don't label everything lamul muzahlaqa, because in your test the question can be that you are given a verse and there is lam with fatha, lam maftuha, and lam tawkid does have a fatha. You all know it always takes a fatha. So don't call any lamul muzahlaqa or lamul ibtida or lamul fariqa if you don't see the conditions that you have been taught. In case of lamul fariqa, what will be seen in the beginning of the sentence? What do you see in the beginning of the sentence in case of lamul fariqa? In. Very well done. In is a particle that you are going to see in the beginning. The right name is in mukhaffafa, as Sister Azra and Sister Ambareen have written. This in is expected to be seen in the beginning of your words that is going to be carrying lamul fariqa. Okay, in mukhaffafa. And this in is going to be translated as, what will be the translation? And that will tell me that you really understood what in mukhaffafa is. Why are you calling it mukhaffafa? Because it is in actuality inna, and it has been lightened from inna to in, and that is why we are giving it the name of mukhaffafa. And this, is going to be followed by lamul faraka, and lamul faraka in the sentence tells you that this is going to be translated as indeed, cannot be translated as not, because in and lam do not come together. In nafia and lam cannot come together, and they should not come together. They don't need to be together, because negation by itself is very strong. It does not need any further tools to emphasize itself. Negation by itself, whenever, even the negation by any particle by itself, does not need any additional um, emphatic tools. Okay, keep that in mind. When you will learn more cases where you will see more emphasis, particles of emphasis, tools of emphasis, you will realize that when a sentence is a negative sentence, it by itself is very strong. It does not need additional emphatic particles. Okay, except for you see it with ma, where you can see it with min zaida, and you see it with ba zaida, or with laysa. Rest, most of the cases, you don't, you don't expect lam to be seen with negation. Okay, so you don't need it in in a broader sense. So the topic for today was, what were we supposed to cover today? Who remembers? You were given a handout to complete. Did anyone go over the examples? Man. So man was the topic of the day. Okay, it's a word of the day. Alhamdulillah, just like in Sesame Street. Remember, there was a word of the week or something like that. So I will want you to bring back those memories. So today your word is man. Okay, you were given a worksheet to work on and learn about different types of man. Anwa'u man means types of man. So we have already covered. A man has three types. Man can be man mausula, the first type that we covered in our second or third term. Then man can be shartiya, it can be a condition particle, and man can be istifhamiyyah, which means it is a question word. So in all these three cases, man is an ism, not a particle. So you just excuse my wording. If I call it particle, just understand it's actually an ism in all these three cases. Man mausula, as our name indicates, is a connecting noun that connects to whatever is before to whatever is after, right? It is, kind of going to show you a connection between what is before it to whatever is after it. So it is very important, as the name indicates, that you focus on whatever is before man mausula, because whatever the role of man mausula is, you will be able to determine by looking at what is before man. Having said that, do not forget looking after man either, because sometimes if you see after man mudare majzoom, a clear mudare majzoom, can that man be man mausula? No, it is not going to be man mausula. In that case, you will go on to the second type of man, which is going to be man shartiya jazima. You will start to think about man shartiya jazima, right? When you see man in contextually, it is giving you a, a connotation of a question. The third type of man will be the right answer. Man istifhamia. Okay, man istifhamia. When somebody is asking a question, the question man is going to be called istifhamia. The Arabic term that is used for question is istifham. Okay, I hope So far, everyone is with me. Since it is an ism, since man is an ism, in all these three cases, it can be rafa, nasb, or jar. I hope you all have understood it. Hmm? It can be rafa, nasb, or jar. Man mausula can have mudari after it, but it is not going to change the i'rab of mudari. It's not going to make it majzoom. Is this clear? Hmm? When you see man mausula, it should not change the i'rab of fail mudari after it. It's going to remain in its default form. And if you remember, what is the default form for fail mudari? Who can tell me? Mudari has three forms, right? It has three statuses. It can be marfu, mansub, majzoom. If mudari is marfu after man, you are going to consider that man mausula or istifhamiyyah, and based on the context and based on the era, what the verse is talking about, you should be able to figure out which type is it. Okay. When you see a mudari after man, that is majzoom, the only type of man that can do so is going to be man shartiya jazim. Okay, in that case, you are now going to think about shart, and you will attempt your words accordingly. Okay, inshallah. So now I'm going to start with a quick review of what we have already covered, so that when I take you to your practice sheet, everyone is with me. I don't want people lagging behind. And I'm not, we'll try to take everyone together. Okay, I'm going to try to hold everyone's hand in the class so that they are all on the same page, inshallah, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, when it comes to Arab of man shartiya, because it's an ism, we look for an Arab of this ism. It's going to be labeled as mubtada in three cases. When is it going to be labeled as mubtada? Those three cases are if it is followed by fail lazim. Fail lazim is a fail in Arabic that cannot take an object. It cannot take maf'ul. That fail that follows man that cannot take a maf'ul, in that case you are going to label your man shartiya as mubtada. As you can see here, whoever he turns away among you all from his religion, then he dies while he's a disbeliever, then those are the people whose deeds be will be lost in this world in the hereafter. Okay, so here man is followed by fail that was majzoom, right? So number one thing that comes to my mind is when I'm seeing the majzoom ending is this man is shartiya. Now the next thing is, what should I label the man? I'm going to call it mubtada. Every mubtada has a khabar. So where is its khabar? From where you want to start the khabar? Very well done. Yartadid is going to be the khabar. Very well done. And from there, the khabar is starting. Some will say the khabar ends at wahuwa kafir, and from fa'ulaika habitat amaluhum fid dunya wal akhirah. This is jawabu shart, and they keep it separately. Some, what would they say is the khabar of man can be both jumla shartiya and jawabu shart, and both way it is okay. Okay, yartadid, whoever reverts among you all, he reverts. This word cannot take any maf'ul. Is there any maf'ul mentioned after it? No, there is no maf'ul. Therefore, this fail is lazim. Lazim is a fail that cannot take maf'ul bihi. How you can determine that your fail cannot take a maf'ul bihi is you attach a who at the end of the word and translate it. Whoever, he reverts it. Does it make sense? It does not. It does not. Jo, whoever, who turns back it, no word does is not making sense. Who turns back from his religion among you all, it does not make sense. So therefore, that fail that cannot have a maf'ul bihi, that is going to be fail lazim. For example, nasara. When you see a nasara, if I attach who to it, does the word make sense? Translate it. Nasara who? Ranas. I want you to translate it. Nasara who? Simple fail. Nasara fail madin. He nasarahu. He helped him. You can attach him, right? Word makes complete sense, right? When you attached him to nasarahu, when you attached who to nasara, the fail made very good sense. You can attach who to nasara, so it is mutaaddi, right? Now look at this. Nama. Nama means he slept. Attach who to it and translate it. Give me translation for nama who.
Not possible.
Yeah, it's not possible. Nama who is he slept it, right? He slept it very wrong, right? It does not make sense. So nama is going to be lazim. Make sense? Okay. Now come back to whatever we were supposed to cover. So lazim cannot take maful bihi. Mutaaddi can take maful bihi. So the first case is you are going to label your man as shartiya. And I'm going to take few steps back at this stage before I take you forward. Okay, I want everyone to be with me. Okay, so my dear sisters, the first step is, if you are still very new to grammar, the first step is to determine the right type of man based on this verse. Just if you are looking at this verse alone, if you are able to figure out that this is man shartiya based on what is coming after it, you got it. Is this clear to each and every one of you? If you can label this man shartiya, the column that you have been provided in your practice sheet, if you all can fill the first column, let me show you that. If you all can, I'm talking about anwa'u man, if you all can fill this first column alone, it is a win-win situation for your teacher and for you all as well. Make sense or no sense? Because that is the first step where many are struggling still. Okay. The next step is next step. That's why the column for the Arab was put at the end, and you have been provided with two columns so that you understand that this is my first step and this is my second step. I have to take first step first in order to get to the second step, right? Now the next condition of Arab of manchartiya, when it's going to be mubtada, is if it is followed by a fail mutaaddin. Fail mutaaddin is a fail that can take mafulun bihi, and mafulun bihi is mentioned after the fail. In that case, again, you are going to call your man mubtada. For example, وَمَنْ يَقْتُلْ مُؤْمِنًا, whoever he kills a mu'min, مُتَأَمِّدًا, intentionally, فَجَزَاؤُهُ جَهَنَّمْ, then his recompense is hellfire. Make sense? Can you all identify this man as shartiya? That is number one step. Column number one. You are going to put this as shartiya. That's a win-win situation. That you understood this as man shartiya based on your fail that was after it and was in majzoom status. The default status of a fail is a rough, and man mawsula is not going to change the i'rab of the fail after it. It's man shartiya jazima that makes mudare majzoom, and it also has an ability of making true mudare majzoom simultaneously, right? That's how we have learned it in our term 2. The next condition is when your man is going to be labeled as shartiya. Whenever you see man and after it there is kana, and the man is giving you the connotation of shart, it is being used in the meaning of shart, you label your man as mubtada. Okay, and the rest call it khabar. Okay, first step is first, man yaqtul man kana yuridul hayat dunya wa zinataha nuwaffi ilayhim. We will completely recompense to him. We will, give him whatever, good deeds he has done. He will be compensated for those good deeds. Okay, So here, what helped you determine that this man can definitely be man shartiya? There is a clue in the verse of Surah Hud 15 itself, and whosoever is going to tell me that will be the queen of the week. No, there is something very, very, yes, okay, you can say, okay, man kana, okay, because man istifhamiyyah can also be followed by kana. Very well done. There is a jawab that is majzoom. There is a jawabu shart that is majzoom. What are the root letters for nuwafi? Give me the root letters for nuwafi. Waw, fa, ya. And you are seeing ya dropped, right? There are three ways your mudare can be majzoom. The first way you have seen, if it is sahihul akhir, it is going to take a sukoon, just like yartadid, yaktul, right? If it is sahihul akhir, it's going to take a sukoon. If it is ending with noonul i'rab, the noonul i'rab will get dropped. You see noonul rafa or noonul i'rab in case of af'alul khamsa. So it is so very important to learn af'alul khamsa. The next way mudare can be majzoom, you have all been taught from the very beginning. If your last root letter is waw, ya, or alif, and the word and the fail is missing, it's waw, ya, and alif, which are haruful illa, as rightly identified by Sister Zohra, it's going to get dropped. The haruf illa will get dropped when the mudari is majzoom. Everyone with me so far? Hmm? So in this case, in the third case also, coming back to identification of man, coming back to Erabu man shartiya, I will take you back there, and you will always label man shartiya as mubtada when it is followed by fi'l naqis kana. Everyone with me, I hope. Okay, you are going to call it fi'l in this case mubtada as well. And here you can see very easily, you know that this man is shartiya because jawabu shart had mudari majzoom. Okay, and if I asked you letter, which harf, which word, which ism is making this majzoom, what is the answer for that? What is making nuwafi majzoom? Man, right? Very well done, my dear sisters. Now comes a condition when you are going to label your man as maful bihi muqaddam, and this is going to happen when man is followed by a fi'l that was mutaaddin. It is mutaaddi, can take mafulun bihi, but it does not have it. It does not have it. Okay. So here, وَمَن يُضْلِلْ, here yudlil is a fail that can have a maful bihi. Whoever Allah lets go astray. Or for example, we can say, Allah can let go astray kuffar. Make sense? Yudlil who? Translate it. Yudlil who? Translate it. He let him go astray, right? He misguided him. I can say it, yeah. It makes complete sense. But there is no who mentioned. There is no who mentioned, right? Do you see any mafulun bihi after yudlillahu? Yudlilillahu. There is no mafulun bihi. Everyone got it? So in this case, you are going to call man mafulun bihi muqaddam, and it is acting as mafulun bihi muqaddam, whomever Allah lets go astray, then you will not find for him any way, any path. Make sense? I hope it does. Is this clear so far? Okay. So again, I will repeat myself, my dear sisters. As a beginner of Arabic grammar, as a lover of Arabic grammar, as much as I want you to be the master of this science of Quran, I don't want you to be overburdened either. If you are at a stage, if you are at a very beginning stage, if you are able to identify all these man as man shartiya, you are making a progress. Okay? And you understand that man usually, not always, will have fa attached to jawabu shart. You are making a progress. Okay? If you are able to determine where your jumla shartiya is ending and where your jawabu shart is starting, there is a win-win situation. Okay? Not telling you to stay stagnant where you are. Okay? But at the same time, I have to be very clear, because sometimes, I also am very hard on myself and I want to learn things very quickly. Everything should, it should take me a minute and I should be, you know, master of that. And it happened to me. Okay? So just make sure that, you take it easy. Okay, now let's just see if you have any questions here. So mu'minan, whoever he kills a believer, my dear sisters, muta'ammidan. What is muta'ammidan answering here? I have been translating as intentionally. Is it a naat or is it a hal? No, it is not a sifa, my dear sisters. It is a hal. How does he kill? It is answering your how question. And let me see who was a smart one to figure that out. Ah, okay, here. Alina, the first one to answer. Very proud of you. So, see, Allah has always khair for you. You have to run towards His book. Okay? فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Run. And when you run to Him, He will open more doors of knowledge for you. And there will be Quran all over your house. You will sleep with the Quran in your hand. You will wake up with the Quran in your hand. And I assure you that. Because I tell you, Allah, Allah says, Ana in the zanni, and Ana, um, um, what is that? Ana in the zanni, um, abdi. I am near the zan of my slave. So have high expectations of Allah, and He will, when you walk to Him, He runs to you. And that happens, okay? So you sitting in this class is no miracle, okay? He made it happen. He arranged it for you, okay? So Bismillah again. So far, if my dear sisters are able to identify that here from وَهُوَ kafir, end of my shirt, فَأُولَٰئِكَ, from there with fa, jawabu shirt is starting. Then again, متعمدا, here, jumla shartiya, فَجَزَاؤُهُ jahannam, jawabu shirt. Again, from nuwafi, jawabu shirt is starting. Okay? Then, فَلَن تَجِدَ لَهُ sabila. Again, jawabu shart is starting with fa'ur rabita. The name for this fa is going to be fa'ur rabita. Is this clear? If it is, type 1. Okay. So Bismillah. Now again, I'm saying Bismillah because I want little to become more. I think I'm running out of time, so I will inshallah try to make sure that you are understanding each and everything, and at the same time we are able to cover a lot, inshallah. So when it comes to man al-mawsula, it's going to be looked at as a regular ism. It can be rafa, nasab, and jar. I hope this makes sense to each and every one of you. So here in Surah Al-Baqarah, I have an example right in front of you. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ آمَنَّا. And among the people is the one who says, we have believed in Allah and the last day. So here, مِنَ النَّاسِ, jar wal majroor. What are we going to label it as? What should be the labeling for this jar wal majroor? متعلق بالخبر مقدم. من يقول. It's going to be مبتدا مؤخر, right? I can call this man is مبتدا مؤخر, and after I'm calling it man موصولة, after every موصول, what should I look for? Silatul موصول. Can you ever label this man as shartiya? Can it ever be shartiya? Why? Why are you saying a big nose? Why am I saying the big nose? Why? because the fail after it is rafin status. No fail in majzoom status. Absolutely right answer. And if you have identified it like that, good job. Barakallahu feek. Then I have put another example. Ma jaza'u man arada bi ahlika suwan illa an yasjuna aw azabun alim. When ma is there, now you just covered ma and it is followed by illa. You should, this should be the way you should look at the verse. Okay, ma illa, ma illa. Ma is going to be muhmila. If it is muhmila, what kind of ma is muhmila? Ma nafia is muhmila. Okay, muhmila is one of the types of ma nafia. And your ants, now I have to look at other stuff. Okay, this is done. This cannot be mosul, this cannot be any other type. Now I'm going to look at jaza'u. Jaza'u is going to be mubtada. Jaza'u man, recompense of who? So here, man is mudafun ilayhi, right? And after I'm calling this man ma mausula, I will look for silatul mausul, right? And sila is arada bi ahlika suwan, okay? When we have a mubtada, after mubtada, we should look for khabar too. Do you find any khabar here in this verse of Surah Yusuf? A very beautiful surah loved by, I think, the entire Muslim ummah. People have very, jaza'u man is, if you are calling it mudafun ilayhi, they cannot be in separate, and they cannot be in separate buckets. They have to be together. Jaza'u man is now attached inseparably through idafa, right? Now I cannot make it, yeah? Very well done. Very well done. Ain yasjuna. What is the status of ain yasjuna? And what is this structurally? You have an an yasjuna. Ain yasjuna. It is fi mahalli masdar al-muawwal fi mahalli. What is this? Fi mahalli raf'in or nasbin. Fi mahalli raf'in, right? Because the khabar here, the khabar is going to be a raf'in status. And what, even without knowing any science or any difficulties, should I look for aw? Aw is one of the ataf, right? So whatever is the status of matufun ilayhi, matuf follows the same status. So when your matuf was rough in status, you, without even looking at what the position of ayn yasjuna is, you should be able to figure out that this should be only rough in status. And when it is rough in status, you have a mubtada and you need a khabar. In this case, ma cannot make any changes to the i'rab of a sentence because it is muhmila, it is neglected, it is wasted. Okay, muhmila, wasted ma. It cannot make khabar nasbin status. Therefore, you are going to call jaza'u mubtada, and then khabar is ayn yasjuna. Okay, and then harf at and matuf going in the same bucket, and the bucket is of khabar. Because after illa, when illa came, it won't let ma do anything, despite mubtada being in the beginning of the sentence, mubtada in the right position. It won't let it work. It made ma neglected, or it made it lose its action. Its action is now batil, zaya ho gaya uska action. Okay, it's no longer going to act like laysa. Okay, now comes another example. Should I move ahead and look at man mausula as fa'il? Walahu aslama. And to him, aslama, surrenders. Man fis samawati wal ard. Whoever is in the skies and the earth. Huh? Here man is going to be fa'il. Fi mahalli raf'in. Fis samawati wal ardi is going to be silatul mausul. Right? La mahalla laha min al-i'rab. It can be naibul fa'il, as you can see here. Dhalika yu'azu. This is yu'azu bihi. This, it is advised to who? Man kana minkum yuminu billahi wal yawmil akhir. This is being advised to the one who among you believes in Allah and yawmil akhir. Now yu'azu. What is this fail? Is it ma'loom or majhool? It is majhool. U'a, majhool, right? So majhool will have a naibul file, right? And naibul file can be the damir mustatir, or it can be an outside naibul file in the form of man. And here we have man as an outside naibul file. But you see here, not every man that is followed by kana is going to be man shartiya. Does it make sense, my dear sisters? Is it clear? Because man kana, man can be istifhamiyyah, man kana can be mausula, man can be shartiya, and you are going to look at the context and you are going to figure out the right type. Then man can be mafulun bihi, as we can see in Surah Ali Imran, verse number 27, tarzuku. You provide man tasha'u bi ghairi hisab, whomever you will, without any account. And Allah does so. So here man, you provide. When I translate it as tarzuku as you provide, should I look for outside doer? Can it have an outside doer? No outside doer. So no outside doer. In this case, man is going to be maf'ul bihi. Okay? So, and then sometimes you are going to see man as muta'alliq bil fi'l. The purpose of this slide is to make you familiar with the fact that since it is an ism, man is an ism, it can be rafa, nasab, and jar, as simple as it is, right? وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَنْ يُقْتَلُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ لِمَنْ يُقْتَلْ, sorry, لِمَنْ يُقْتَلُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And you all do not say about who he is killed in the way of Allah. What should you not say? Amwatun. Don't say that. Amwatun. Okay, don't. This is your, what is this amwatun? How will you label it as? It's very interesting. Real quick. No. What kind of a sentence you are seeing? La taqulu. La taqulu. Can taqulu has an outside doer? There is a jumla failure. La is la nahiya. Mudare taqulu is majzoom بحذف النون لأنه من الأفعال الخمسة. لمن جار والمجرور متعلق بالفعل. من موصولة. After it silatul mawsul. يقتل في سبيل الله. Whoever he is killed in the way of Allah. Silatul mawsul ends at في سبيل الله. Okay. After qala yakulu, I usually have something called makulul qawl, and amwatun is rightly labeled as makulul qawl by my very dear sister Diba. Very proud of you. And amwatun is going to be makulul qawl fi mahalli nasbin. This you are going to put inverted commas, and this is your makulul qawl. This amwat word is your makulul qawl. Okay. Very well done. Okay. So now this was about man al-mawsula. Let's look at the last type of man, which is istifhamiyyah. And I want you to be very active with your pencils and papers, because here you are seeing Arabic, and this is an Arabic class, and I want you to be good at it. I don't want you to be spoon-fed so much so that, if you join some other class, or, there are people doing way better work than I'm doing, but you should be able to make notes for yourself as well. I want you to be good with that, inshallah. So man istifhamiyyah is going to be labeled similarly as we label ma istifhamiyyah. There is absolutely no, not much difference between the labeling of man and ma. Okay, man is for akil, ma is for ghair akil. You all understand that? Man is for intelligent beings, which includes humans, jinns, angels, and ma is for unintelligent beings. Okay, however, you will see an overlap too. Okay, so don't just you will see in Quran a lot of overlap too sometimes. Okay, so but when you teach someone, remember that ma ghair akil, man akil. Okay, so akil, who is akil? Human beings, jinns, and angels. Okay, so man is going to be your mubtada when it is followed by fail lazim. Okay, it's going to be mubtada when it is going to be man istifhamiyyah is going to be labeled as mubtada when it is followed by fail lazim. Man dahika, who laughed. Okay, who laughed. So laughed, can it take laughed someone, laughed something? Can it take a mafulun bihi? It cannot. So you cannot call man as mafulun bihi. You can only label it as mubtada. And إذا تلاها فعل lazim, when fail lazim follows it is the English for إذا تلاها فعل lazim. Okay. إذا تلاها فعل متعد استوفي مفعوله. When fail mutaddi follows it, that has its maful bihi. Okay. Let's look here. Man nasaraka. Who helped you? Who helped you? Nasaraka. Does it have nasara has a mafulun bihi? Right? It has a mafulun bihi. So you are going to call man mubtada, nasaraka as khabar. Okay. The next case, when it is followed by إذا تلاها فعل ناقص. إذا تلاها فعل ناقص. When it is followed by فعل ناقص and استوفي خبره. I should have written here استوفي خبره. When it is followed by فعل ناقص that has its khabar there. So here look at this. من كان يضحك يضحك. من كان يضحك. Who used to laugh? Who used to laugh? The same thing as this one. Dahika yadhaku. So here again, man is going to be mubtada. Yes, very similar. You will notice the similarity between shartiya and some similarity between istifhamiyyah and shartiya. Okay. Now comes the easy part. Okay, it's an easy one, easy rule. Okay, you are going to label it as mubtada when it is followed by an ism. If it is followed by an ism that is marifa, remember what did we learn about ma? Ma launuha. Can ma be both mubtada or khabar? Yes or no? Similarly, you are going to, as I am telling you, the same rules are there, okay, for both of them. Again, man rabbus samawati wal ardi. What is man followed by? Is it an ism nakira or marifa? Marifa. You are going to label man as, you are going to write it in your notes. I can label man as both mubtada or khabar. It can be labeled as mubtada or khabar. It is the rule of Arabic. It can be both mubtada or khabar. If you are calling it as mubtada, you are going to call rabbu khabar. If you are calling it as khabar, then call rabbu mubtada muakhar. Both are going to be right. Now, if I give you an example, man qa'imun. Man qa'imun. Qa'imun, is it marifa or nakira? Is it common or proper? Common. In that case, man is going to be mubtada only. Make sense? Everyone with me? In that case, when it is followed by ism that is nakira, you are only going to call it mubtada. There is no option of khabar or mubtada. You only call it mubtada in that case. When you see shubhu jumla after إذا جاء بعدها shubhu jumla, when shubhu jumla comes after man indaka, who is with you? You are going to call man mubtada. إذا جاء بعدها جملة اسمية, you are going to label man as mubtada. For example, man huwa muallimuka. Who is your teacher? Who is your teacher? So there is a jumla ismiya after man, label man as mubtada. Is this clear so far? Making sense? The whole jumla ismiya is going to be its khabar, okay, in all these cases. Okay. There is only one thing where when it is followed by an ism, when man is followed by an ism, and remember, if it is followed by nakira, man qa'imun, who is standing, you are going to call man as mubtada. However, if it is man al-qa'imu, then you have two options, and the student who is going to learn the two options is doing 105%, and the student who is calling it either as mubtada or khabar muqaddam, that student is also at 100%. Okay, so let me tell you that You will not see most of the authentic Arabs is calling it. It can be mubtada or khabar. No, they may just give you mubtada. That's it. But for a student who is striving towards excellence, and for a student who has already learned all this, it's important for them to know that both Arab are correct when man is followed by ism marfa, when ma is followed by ism marifa. But in case of ism nakira, it is only going to be mubtada. Okay, the next situation. Easy. When you see man and you see a fail after it, which is mutaaddin but is missing its mafulun bihi. إذا تلاها فعل متعد لم يستوفي مفعوله. When fail mutaaddi follows it, which does not have its maful bihi. Man yuhibbu. What do you like? Who do you like? Man nasara. Who helped? Who did he help? So in this case, you are going to call it mafulun bihi muqaddam. Easy? Who do you like? Or who did he help? Who did he? Oh, do you? No, it's not you. It's who um, um, who does he like, or who does he love? Who does he help? In this both cases, in both verses are the same. These both of are mutaaddi. They can take mafulin bihi, but do they have maful bihi after it? Do they? They don't have mafulun bihi after it. When they don't have maful bihi after it, in that case, you are going to label man as maf'ul bihi muqaddam. Is it clear, Sister Amri? When your fail mutaaddi comes after man istifhamiyyah, but it does not have its maf'ul bihi mentioned, you label your man as maf'ulun bihi muqaddam. In the previous examples, you have seen, if I, based on what we have just learned, man yuhibbuka, man nasaraka. In that case, you won't label man if I attach ka in maful bihi ka, which is you pronoun, after yuhibbu or nasara, man is going to be labeled as, because it already has now its maful bihi, what will you label man as? Mubtada. 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 Okay? When it has maful bihi mentioned, you are going to call man istifhamiyyah mubtada. If it does not have maful bihi mentioned, you are going to label it as mafulun bihi muqaddam. I hope I did not make it very hard on you all. Now comes when it is followed by fail naqis that does not have its khabar. So if you have this sentence, forget about man istifhamiyyah, focus on yakunu daifu. Yakunu daifu. Yakunu, how will you label yakunu? Fail naqis, mudare, marfu, ismu, yakunu is damir mustatir, or there is something else as damir mustatir? Daifu, daifu, right? So now, did you notice any khabar here? Is there any khabar? There is no khabar. So go back to the first slide. Man kana yadhaku. Kana, fail naqis, mudare. Huh? Khabru kana, jumla failya, yadhaku fi mahalli nasbin. There was a khabar here, so I labeled man as mubtada. When I come here, kana again, there is ismu kana, there is no khabru kana. So I'm going to label man as khabru kana fi mahalli nasbin. Okay, and make sure you listen to this again. Okay, you will be finding lots in Arabic, but nothing is going to be. Hardly will you will hardly find much in terms of English. Okay, so how to put Arab on man istifhamiyyah. So make sure you make use of the information that is being provided here. So the last case is when your man is going to be istifhamiyyah and it has an harf jar before it. In that case, it's going to be majroor in status. For example, laminil lamanil mulkul yawma. This is one question, okay, from Surat Al-Ghafir, verse number 16. To whom belongs kingdom today? So what is the status of man istifhamiyyah here? limanil mulku, so it is jar in status. Liman ukbaddar, for whom is the home of the after like hereafter's home. So does it make sense that man is going to be jar if there is harf jar attached? Very similar to ma, right? There was amma yatasaalun. Ma istifhamiyyah is jar in case of amma yatasaalun, right? When ma has harf jar attached to it, it loses its alif. Man does not change its form. It remains as it is because there is no alif in man. So and it's going to be jar in status when it is followed when it follows an ism that is nakira and that is mudaf. Kitabu man qara'ta. Whose book are you reading? So here it is mudaf ilayhi and is jar in status. So it can come in all three statuses. I hope this was clear to each and every one of you. Type 1 if it is. Alhamdulillah. So should we go to our practice sheet now? Bismillah. Okay. So now let's see here the first verse from Surah Al-Baqarah. And I purposely brought this. Oh, Kitabu man qara'ta? That one? Okay. So, Kitabu man qara'ta. Whose book did you read? Right? Kitabu man qara'ta. Here, this is going to be man istifhamiyyah. Right? Kitabu man. Kitabu is going to be mubtada and qara'ta is going to be the khabar. Yes, it's in idafa. Mudaf ilayhi is jar in status. So it is mudaf ilayhi. When it's mudaf ilayhi, it's going to be jar in status. And man istifhamiyyah can be mudaf ilayhi as well. That was to show you that. Okay, inshallah. So now you know that how you are going to see man istifhamiyyah in all three statuses. Everyone should be well versed with that. You should go back to your slides and make sure you practice. And you can practice by without watching a video, or you can always fast forward and do stuff with it to understand the concept, inshallah. So let's come back to the practice, which tells us how much we have truly learned. Okay, so now look at this one. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ. Whoever he witnesses among you all the month, or ash-shahra can be the moon itself. فَلْيَصُمْهُ. He should fast it. Man is going to be shartiya, very well done. And this part, what should I label it now? Now that I know man is shartiya, should I call it atf or should I call it rabita? Very well done. Now I should call it rabita. And this lam, anyone who's going to call it that this is one thing, fal wal, no, right? It's lamul amr, and give it its due respect and give it its haq. We are going to say it's a separate harf, and it is lamul amr. And yasum is mudari majzoom bilamul amr, who is mafulun bihi. Man kana maridan. Man followed by kana. Okay, it is mubtada. But what is anwa'u man? First of all, first step first, my dear sisters. Don't go on to the second column without doing the first column. It is it is half of you are saying that it is shart. Some of you are saying very few mawsul. Look at this. Whoever among you, whoever is sick, then he has to finish the counting from the other days. So isn't it shart? Is it not giving the connotation of shart? It is a condition here. So when you see man that is shartiya, let's go to the first one first. Okay, man that is, you have determined it's shartiya. It has a fail after it that has a maful bihi, ash-shahra. Ash-shahra. So now man should be labeled as what? There are only two options in this case, right? Either mubtada or mafulun bihi muqaddam. It is going to be mubtada. When you see man followed by kana and you already determined that it is man shartiya, Man shartiya after which kana comes is going to be labeled as mubtada. Right? Yes. Easy or too hard? Easy? I know nobody's going to say it's easy. It's hard, right? It is challenging, but we are going to master it, inshallah. That is the purpose of the session. Okay. Yeah. So we'll need practice. We need revision. You think I come and it was just one day I thought that let's just go over month. I don't even have all this information in one place. I searched how many videos of YouTube and how many books, how many Google Notes I know only. So inshallah, same thing you are going to do. And for you, I actually made it, tried to make it easy. But may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it's only Allah, who makes everything easy, right? When He wants, right? And inshallah, with practice, you are going to master it. Now look at the next one. Tu'til mulka man tasha'u. You give kingdom, you give authority, man tashau, whomever you will. Mausula, I like the answer. It is going to be mausula and you are going to label it as mafulun bihi because tu'ti is fail mudare, marfu bidamatul muqaddara alal ya, and it cannot take an outside doer. It has wal fa'iluhu anta, damir mustatir anta, so it is going to be, man is going to be maful bihi. Tanziul mulka, same thing. Mimman tasha'u. Now what is man? Again mafulun bihi. Since you are labeling it mausul, you will look at silatul mausul. In both these cases, silatul mausul was tasha'u, tasha'u. To izzu, you give honor whomever you will. Right? So man again, mausula. You will put in this column Mosul, number 1 man Mosul, number 2 man Mosul, number 3 man, no, 3 man Mosul, number 4 man Mosul. In the next column, you should be writing man maful bihi. Second man muta'alliq bil, majroor bi harf min. Third man maful bihi fi mahalli nasbin. Tuzillu man tasha'u. The fourth man is again mafulun bihi, and you are going to label it as fi mahalli nasbin. Okay, now the next one from Surah Ali Imran. Man yakfur. You are seeing mudare madzum after it. That makes your job super duper easy. It is man shartiya, right? When man is shartiya, yakfur bi ayatillahi. Man is here going to be labeled as, yes, there is a fa there as well, which is rabita, because the jumla ismiya was following it. So here you are going to label as man as mubtada. Very well done. Very well done. It's going to be mubtada. Yakfur bi ayatillahi. Yakfur is already engaged with bi ayatillahi. Okay, so man is mubtada here and khabar starts from yakfur. Some will say khabar ends at felu shart and jumla shartiya, but some will say the khabar of man can be the entire sentence. Now, what should be the status of inna allaha sariul hisab? Whenever you see in your jawabu shart fa in between jumla shartiya and jawabu shart, you label it as fi mahalli jazmin. Despite, there was a verse that I showed you here in your work from today. When we were covering here, nuwafi, is it majzoom in status? Fail is majzoom in status. But the whole sentence, the whole sentence, you will not say it fi mahalli jazmin. This jumla does not have fa. It has to have a fa for it to be, the whole sentence to be fi mahalli jazmin. It is la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Very well done. You got it. Okay. So despite fail being jazmin status, the whole sentence could not be jazmin status because it was missing the fa. All the other examples that you are seeing on this slide, fa'ulaika, fajaza'uhu, falan tajida, all those jumlas, all those sentences, what will be the status? Because there is a fa in the beginning, all those three sentences are going to be fi mahalli jazmin. في محل جزم. If it does not make sense, send the questions to Sister Faiza. Ask her to explain it to you. Okay, inshallah. Wallahu yu'ayyidu bi nasrihi man yasha'u. And Allah, He aids with His help whomever He wills. This is what is the anwa'u man. Mausula. You will write mausula here. What is the i'rabu man? What is the position of man? You have lafzul jalala mubtada. Yu'ayyidu khabar. Bi nasrihi muta'alliq bil fi'l. Man yasha'u is going to be maf'ulun bihi fi mahalli nasbin, right? So that's how things go. And yasha'u silatul mawsul. Silatul mawsul has no i'rab, la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. I am so sorry I ran out of my time, but inshallah we will complete this entire sheet on Wednesday. We'll try to complete it. I should not say inshallah. Biznillah ta'ala. We will complete it on this coming Wednesday. I will have to end the session here. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, my dear sisters.